So here we are with another extra to the GS 450H what I have, and this time I decided to add a heated steering wheel. I want to make it original as it can be, so you can only check that it wasn't in the car from the factory only if you search for the VIN number. And let's get right into it. What you will need. I will show you also on my computer the service manual where I got my information and where I looked up what I will need for this, and if there is any chance to make it, or it's impossible because it has to have another ECU or something in the car. But luckily no, and also some American forums helped me out, and it isn't a difficult job, but the parts you will need for this, to make it really original, you can only buy them from the junkyard or from a crashed car or something, and that's why it can be also the case that you have to wait maybe 1 year or also 2 years until you find the right part, especially the switch bundle. Okay, let's get right into it. Okay, you will need the steering wheel, and I have it right now here, the new steering wheel. My original steering wheel has a wood, this part, and also on this two side or here underneath. I don't know exactly right now, but the heated steering wheel is leather. I prefer leather. I know the luxury package on the GS comes with the wood steering wheel, but as I just said, I prefer the leather one, so it's actually a win-win. I have to clean maybe a little bit because it isn't that clean. It was a used steering wheel. There is also a small circle, like a small hole, but it really that small that I have in my car, I don't know, roughly 200,000 kilometers, so it's acceptable for a 10-year-old car that it has right on the steering wheel just a small little puncture. Okay, and how does it work? And how can you search for one? And how do you know it is a heated steering wheel? Or maybe in your car there is a heated steering wheel but without the panel, or it's missing something. It's really easy. As you can see here, if you searching on eBay or something, there is two wire harnesses. So if you're looking for the heated steering wheel, there are two wire harnesses, and this one, so I hope you can see, this one is for the heated steering wheel. The other one, as you can see, it's connected to, I don't know for what, but this one is the harness for the heated steering wheel. And also, if you are searching for a used part and you see an auction on eBay, and maybe you will get a photo like this, then you can also see here inside, this is the thermostat, this is the ECU. I hope you can see it. So this will be the thermostat, this is the ECU for the heated steering wheel with this white harness inside. This small box, it will be the heated steering wheel ECU thermostat. So normally this is what you have to looking for. And if you do not have this thermostat inside the steering wheel, I would suggest to wait and find one with the thermostat inside. Okay, this is one. You will need the switch panel. I do not have it right now. It will come later on this week, I think. And right now I can only show you photo on my computer. How does it look like? But you will need the clock spring, the spiral cable. I don't know which is the right name for it. I will also show you photo which tube types you can have in your car. So this is the one with the heated steering wheel. Normally if you have just a normal car, just a normal GS, then those two for the airbags, every other pins are in here. There is also two harnesses what you can connect and what is connected to your car. For the heated steering wheel there is the white harness with the four pins inside in it, and really this is the only, I should say, the only difference, and it speaks for itself. So if you see one without the right part number, you can assume that this will be the one what you have to buy. And also there is a harness in the car on the steering column which is not connected, but hopefully the harness is already in the car, because normally from the factory every car is equipped with the same harness, but after the harness, for example, a clock spring is missing, or not missing, but it's another type of clock spring on your car, like on my car. So I assume I have the harness for the heated steering wheel, but I do not have yet the right clock spring because my car wasn't equipped with it. Maybe you already saw in many videos, but if not, I explain you right now how to center the spiral cable, because it has to be centered. So normally on the clock spring there is a small window. There is the small window, and I hope that you can see that there is a white, looks like a cable, but it's actually the spiral cable what is inside the clock spring, but from the side. That's why you can only see like white small cable. And there is also an arrow here, and that's where should be your spiral cable, and this is the center. But how can you decide without the fence, without the window, or how can you decide a normal clock spring has maybe here like red flag or something, and this has to match with the window? In this case, like I just said, the spiral cable width has to match with the arrow. There is a graved text here, 5 turns. So this is a 5-turn spiral cable. So you have to put your finger through here, and there is like a small, how should I say, spring. You have to just hold it, and right now, and you can turn the clock spring. And the 5 turns means you can turn the clock spring all the way to the right or to the left, and after that turn all the way to the right or to the left in the other direction, and you can count 5 turns. So the center here will be 2.5 turns. Okay, so right now if I'm holding like this, and then I can make 2.5 turns. I will show you. Okay, so 1, 2, and yes, where I can feel a little tension. Okay, that was 2.5 turns. Okay, and if I move my clock spring back, so this is 1 turn, like we started here, that's why. The second one, and 2.5 turns. Then you can see in the small window there is the white spiral cable. So our spiral cable is centered. And right now I will show you in the computer what information I got from the service book. In this way you do not have to search for it. So here we are with the service manual, repair manual, and here, as you can see, under the steering, heated steering wheel system, I can see what I need, and as I just showed you in the video, there is our steering wheel and the heater, control assembly, or in other words, the thermostat, what I have inside. So I have this one, the spiral cable, yes, subassembly with the sensor. The sensor means the angle sensor. The angle sensor is the same on every GS, so I do not have to buy a new one. I have to just switch the angle sensor onto the new spiral cable. And you will need the steering heater switch, the control panel. I will show you in a minute. The steering heater fuse on the right side of the car. My car is a left-hand drive car, so on the right side, in the junction block, you have to have this steering heater fuse. I already checked my car, I have it inside, and also this side, the ECU EG fuse left hand. I assume this means left hand. Okay, so it's not a big deal. Let's go here. There is a problem symptom table and how to proceed with troubleshooting and so on. And this is the forum what I found, luckily, through Google. And this guy actually dumped the heated steering wheel for an aftermarket steering wheel, which goes better to an F-Sport. And that's why he showed us what is inside a heated steering wheel. And actually, as you can see here, our thermostat and the small connector, what I just showed you, the spiral cable extra with the connector. And yes, here is actually, it turns out to be just a bunch of copper wires on an insulated bed. Yes, and this is actually our heated steering wheel. I can also assume that it's only this part of the steering wheel which is heated, so not the whole part. I don't know why, but Toyota makes always heated steering wheels like this. Yes, this is the one what he put on the car. About the spiral cable. If you do not have the heated steering wheel, but you have other things like lane keeping assist or the pre-crash system and so on, I think this one can handle everything, but not the heated steering wheel. So this is the part number what you have inside your car, and both part numbers what I will show you with the heated steering wheel and without the heated steering wheel is only for the GS's between 2013 and 2015. Because through my research I figured out that after 2015 there was a little bit different and it has a different part number. 2015 or maybe 2016, I don't know, but 2016 there where the GS had a facelift. That's why I do not want to lie to you. Until 2015 you will be good with the part numbers. And this is the one what you will need. As you can see on this side, on the right side, there is nothing, and here on this side there is the harness which comes from the steering column and connects into our new clock spring and the cable with the wire harness. This is the one, this is the part number what you will need. And there is one last thing which is actually the hardest part, the switch. When I dump my old switch from the car, I will open up and I'm curious if there is any chance to make from an old switch, from the blink switch, a heated steering wheel. I'm not sure, but like I just said, I wanted to make it looks original, and I have on my panel everything without the heated steering wheel. And I know that the heated steering wheel is the only one which I was missing. So I ordered one, I used one. It was really expensive, I have to say, and because of the bunch of extras. But I hope that it will be okay, and that's why I'm saying this is the hardest part to find. It wasn't easy, and it was really, really expensive. And this is the back side, and from this side I have to go back to the service manual, and I can show you the wiring harness here. And before you purchase anything, it is also a good idea to just look the wire harness in your car. You don't have to reassemble everything and put down this knee this knee pad or something. No, it is good enough if you have the right tools for body panels, those plastic tools, plastic remove tools. If you can drop this side, and then after that this small piece next to the cluster, and pull this panel a little bit out, and then you will see behind this control panel the wiring harness. And then take a photo from this part of the video, and then check if you have in your harness those 3 cables. If you have it, then I can assume that you have also your harness on the steering column, which is right now not connected, but it's ready to be connected for the heated steering wheel. So let's get right into it. So I will clean the steering wheel before I install it. The steering wheel, as you already saw on this forum, it's completely, you can completely strip everything apart. So if your steering wheel has the lane keep assist, or the brake assist systems, or anything else, you can just switch from one steering wheel to the other. The main part is that this side, this has to be actually the whole body of your steering wheel. But let's get to work and let's see how does it work. So before we disconnect the battery, make sure that your steering wheel is straight, because we want to install a new steering wheel. So even if I mark the center nut, it won't be actually, the mark will be on this steering wheel and not on the new one. So that's why lock also your steering wheel, so give it a little shake and make sure that it is straight. The next step is to remove the battery. This is in my trunk. I have a hybrid model, so that's why we are not at the front. And in the trunk, the left side where my battery is located, grab a 10mm cut and then disconnect the negative terminal. And also make sure that it won't touches again the terminal while we are working on the car. So we have no power anymore in the car. So normally you have to wait around 10-15 minutes to drain the car. So, but while we are waiting, we can remove on the 2 sides. There is a plastic cover on the steering wheel. I do not have a good angle on this one, but this is one, and in the other side this will be actually the cover where the cruise control go to. And inside the steering wheel actually it will be a triangle. This side, and this side, you will find like a small pin what you can what you have to move to the other side or detach, if I can say, with a flathead screwdriver. Like I said, I do not have a good angle on this, but here is a photo from the service manual. So one second. When it's detached, it won't go automatically to the same space, so you don't have to like hold every three clips the same time to get out the airbag. So one is really easy, the second one also. The third one is a little bit tricky because you cannot see much. I hope you could also see that it's just popping off. Those are actually the springs. This is what we have to detach. There are 3 cables to the airbag. One is the negative, and then just grab a screwdriver and then lift up. There's like a circling clip or something, yellow circling clip. Alright. Place the airbag onto the other side and facing upwards, because you never know. We have to disconnect some cables from the clock spring, which will be, I think, one is for the right one, I think it's for the cruise control, and there is another one, a big chunk. It's for the steering wheel buttons, and for the airbag it stays in place. So just for the video, so I am also marking up the nut, at least where it was, but I also know that after we're reinstalling everything, it has to be a 50 Newton meter. So this will be a 90 millimeter socket to loosen up, and it will require, I think, some power. No, not exactly. And here is a small trick. Do not remove the nut until you loosen up the steering wheel. Because if you're removing the nut and then you want to loosen up the steering wheel because it's on there, then you will hit your face probably. Leave the nut on, just loosen, okay? And after that, try to shake the steering wheel and loosen up. Okay, all right, that was it. That was it. It wasn't that big of a big deal, but as you can see, right now it's safe. My head is safe. Okay, and right now you can remove the nut. And then just slowly, remove the steering wheel, put through the airbag cables. You don't want to damage it because the clock spring is still alive, so you can use it if you want. Okay, so here we are, the steering wheel, and as you can see, there is the place for the thermostat, which I don't have in this one. Okay, so we can just put this one aside for now and then move on for the clock spring. Okay, and the clock spring, remove 3 bolts, and the last one. There are 2 of these giant clips. This is why it was a little bit hard to get off, but it was okay. This part you can leave it on the top. Disconnect the switches. The first one is a little bit tricky. It's not enough to put it down, this port of the switch. You have to pull this port down, and after that you can get off. The second one is a normal. And on this car I do not have the heated steering system, but what I hoped for is there is the small connector for the heated steering wheel. So because the speed sensor and the clock spring is connected together with small clips on the back, that's why I also have to disconnect the steering angle sensor, which will be, I think, this guy here. Okay, and then the easiest way to get to know how to remove the clock spring and not break anything is to look up to your new steering wheel, and as you can see there are 1, 2 and 3 clips which has to be disconnected, I think. So let's see. One. Two. And behind, what you cannot see actually, this is the third one. And as you can see, everything is disconnected. And as I just said, the steering sensor. You can also read on that one the steering sensor. And what you have to obey and what you have to look for and make sure that the steering sensor is attached with the new clock spring together correctly. I think this cannot be mistaken because there are 2 small pins, okay, which will perfectly fit into the new steering sensor. As you can see, there is one and there is also another one. The service manual said that you have to have like a pin lock, and you can through this pin lock easily bring the steering sensor onto the new clock spring, but as I can see this one, I think it's not a big problem. So, and how to remove and bring over the new onto the new clock spring. There are clips also, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I think 6 of them, yes. Let's see, and if you have a plastic pry tool, maybe it's a better choice to use this time than the flathead screwdriver. It's called as a spring, but there isn't any tension inside. And as you can see, the old one, like the new one, it's also locked in the position as I removed. So it's centered. Right now, where you have to pay attention, and I'm holding with my finger the steering angle sensor, that you cannot move the steering angle sensor. So this way you have to bring over to the new clock spring. Okay, this is also centered as I just showed you in the beginning of the video. So there are only just some clips. And here we go. The steering sensor, the steering angle sensor, is on every car the same. On every GS is the same. So even when you want to upgrade the heated steering system, you don't have to buy a new steering sensor. And as you can see, it moves everything together. There are also two other nuts which holding in place the steering sensor. Make sure it's everything connected, and if yes, then we can go for it and install our new clock spring. This is really easy, just clips into the place. It is centered, very good. And don't forget to put back also the cable for. You will have to have like a small tool to cut through the electrical tape, which was an electrical tape from the factory, which holding in place the cable for the heated steering wheel. Put it through and attach it. It's really tight. And then the black one. Yellow. Everything is in place. Right now we can put back our plastic cover. We are putting back the screws. And here is our new steering wheel, just cleaned, and I also put some leather condition on it. So this will be the place where the heated steering wheel harness has to go. and the rest is actually pretty simple. Just put the two airbag cables through. And search for the heated steering wheel connector. Make sure that it's in place, and then after that you can just connect the cables for the heated steering wheel. Alright. After that, for the buttons and for the cruise control. The rest of the cables will be for the airbag. So putting your wheel nut back and just hand tighten it, and after that you can go for 50 Newton meter. This is what it says in the service manual. We can also go for 52 just to make sure. Okay. Okay, 52. And then our airbag, which is pretty easy. Because it's marked orange and the black one. The black one, the orange one, and then push down the two securing, otherwise it will show on the dashboard there is a system failure in the dashbag, in the airbag system. Our negative cable, and then just take a last look. I think everything is in place. And you can just push it down. Okay, this side wasn't on. You can put back your plastic covers. And then reconnect the battery and turn on the car that it's everything alright with the airbag system and the horn is functioning and so on. So the moment of truth. seems like everything is okay. And here we are with the last part after, I don't know, 1 month, maybe 2, because I had to wait to the switch. Because apart from the heated steering wheel, I had the full option. The automated high beam and also the blind spot monitor and so on and so on. But the switch, which has the full option, I know it's not available in America, as I read on a forum that the automated high beam wasn't an option in America, for example. So I contacted with a Chinese seller from Chinese. They had a full option GS, which had a serious damage at the front, and he sent me one, but the package went, I don't know where. It's missing still today. And then after that, I found another page. Luckily, only one page from Norwegian, I think, yes, and I had to pay for this little guy €300. It's around $330, so it's really expensive part with this full option. At the end of the video, we will take also a look if we can make a switch, if it's possible to make a switch without buying this expensive part. We will take a look. So what you have to do, right now is to disassemble this part of the car. The next one will be this part, which I have to be a little bit careful just to try one side after the other. Yes. And the manual says that you have to remove this whole part, but I just tried it before when I looked the harness behind the switch, and it's actually good enough to pull it outwards. Behind the switch there is the harness where it's connected. Just pull it out. And then, as you can see on the side, it will come off forward. There is one clip, and also on the other side, which you have to push in. It isn't as hard as you think it is. They look very, very similar, and also if you look underneath the blind switch has something in it, but we will take a look in a few minutes. Push the new one in. Just really easy. Reconnect the harness. And then before we go on, we will test our heated steering wheel, and I will also measure how much time does it take. Right now it's summer season, so maybe I will feel it a little bit later than in the winter season. I don't know, because it's normally not that cold. But try it out. There are no codes, which is a good sign. So the blind spot monitor is working when I'm switching, and let's try it out. I will measure the time. How long does it take? And let's try it out. Okay, the light comes on. Time is running. It has actually an orange light inside, so not a yellow one, which is the blind spot monitor. And I can feel it. Wow. Okay. That's really fast. It's actually only 30 seconds. It's really fast. It's only this side of the steering wheel which is heated. So the upper part and down, it's not. Only this side, but both sides are working just fine. And like I just said, I can... Wow! It's actually very nice. I don't know why, but the left side is a little forward than the right side. Very, very, very good. And interesting about the switch that it doesn't stay pushed in. So, and it has a 30 minutes timer in it, as the manual says. So it will automatically switch off after 30 minutes, but that's impressive. That's really impressive. Very good. So we are putting everything back together, and then comes the bonus part. So, and here is the bonus part. I just already deassembled the switch. Not everything, because I couldn't reach the buttons, and they are really a pain in the ass to deassemble the whole thing. It can be done because, yeah, it's Japanese and it has to be done, and I can also see where I have to detach everything, but let's begin. So this will be the switch for the steering wheel, for the heated steering wheel. And like I just said, it is a switch like this one, which moves in and out, so it doesn't stay in there like the blind spot monitor. And it has also a 30 minutes timer inside. This is the start, and if you are pull your switch panel out and you are only missing this button, and your buttons are in this order, so maybe you are missing also the blind spot monitor, then you can assume that you have that's the only part what you need, which I cannot find, or I don't know where can I find it, is only the button itself. Because this is the electrical panel what I pulled out from the switch. Normally it sits like this inside. And the first thing what I noticed, and I found it a little bit strange, if I should say, that every 16 pin on the inside is there. So nothing like that something is missing. So every pin is in there. So this was the first one, which I thought it's a little bit strange. After you pulled out the two screws, be gentle and doesn't pull the whole thing out, because you will broke the blind spot monitor switch, because it attached in this way. I hope you can see it. And this is, you can push it down, it stays there, and then push out. And the button itself just grabs this switch, and they are moving together all the time. I can also show you from this side. It took about 10-15 minutes to get it out. I hope you can see it right now. So after I got it out, then I noticed that I have actually the electrical panel for this heated steering wheel, which will be this one. Also the LED is inside, and also it's marked. There is also subtitle at the bottom, heated steering wheel. So I have the option, but not the button. And like I just said, if it's needed, I can disassemble this one, but it will take 1 to 2 hours. I don't know, because it's really hard to reach. Because it is really hard to reach in and pull the buttons out and so on. There is also a plastic divider between the switch panel and an electrical panel. I can just put it back right there, not a problem. So yeah, it can handle it. So maybe if I do my research, then I can find the button for it, and then it won't cost me 300 euros what I just gave out for the new switch panel. But like I just said, I cannot find this switch anywhere. So if you have any idea where can we find, not me, but I think there is many other people which they have this problem. So where can we find those switches? Because it's not just about the heated steering wheel, actually also the other ones. Because like I just said, it's a custom one, because as you can see, this will be the one, and every other switch what I have on this side has a different shape. So it has to be a custom one at the front with the heated steering wheel. I have no idea. So this was it. My Lexus has right now a heated steering wheel option. I hope this video was helpful, and if you have any comments or questions, leave a comment below and I will be happy to answer them. Thank you.